Making your own cat food is a great way to control exactly what nutrients your cat is getting on a daily basis. Plus, homemade food is often easier for your cat to digest. Try making dry kibble, which you can store for up to 3 weeks in the fridge. Supplement the dry food several times a week with wet, meat-based food, like a chicken and vegetable medley, to give your cat something new. Making cat kibble doesn't take long to do, and your cat will love you for it. How to make cat kibble. This video will tell you how to baking dry kibble and making a chicken and vegetable medley. Welcome to dailyneedstudio.com. Method 1. Baking dry kibble. Number 1. Preheat your oven to 350 degrees Fahrenheit 177 degrees Celsius and prepare a baking sheet. It's best to not use cooking oil or butter to grease the sheet so that you don't add extra fat to your cat's diet. Instead, cut out a piece of parchment paper that will fit the bottom of the pan. Set the sheet to the side so it's ready to go once the dough is done. If you're using small baking sheets that are 18 by 13 inches, 46 by 33 centimeters, or smaller, prepare 2 of them to make sure there is enough room for all the kibble to bake. Otherwise, you might have to cook the kibble in batches. Number 2. Whisk together the dry ingredients in a large mixing bowl. Measure out 1 cup 150 grams of cornmeal, 2 cups 210 grams of soy flour, 3 cups 340 grams of whole wheat flour, 1 cup 115 grams of wheat germ, 1 cup 125 grams of fat-free dry milk, and half a cup 68 grams of brewer's yeast into a very large mixing bowl. Use a whisk or wooden spoon to combine all the dry ingredients together. Keep in mind that you want to supplement your kitty's dry kibble with wet or raw food 2 to 3 times a week to keep it happy and healthy. Dry kibble doesn't contain all the essential nutrients that your cat needs, but it's okay to use as long as you give your cat some variety throughout the week. Number 3. Smash the mackerel and oils together in a small bowl. Put 15 ounces 430 g of canned mackerel, 5 tablespoons 74 milliliters of vegetable oil, and 1 tablespoon 15 milliliters of cod liver oil into a small bowl. Use a fork to whisk and mash the ingredients together. It's okay if the mackerel is still in small bits when you're finished. If you don't have mackerel, you could also use sardines or anchovies. These fish provide calcium and phosphorus, both of which your cat needs. The vegetable and cod liver oils provide much-needed omega-6 fatty acids that your cat can only get from its diet. Number 4. Measure 2 cups, 470 milliliters, of water into the bowl with the dry ingredients. Combine the water and the dry ingredients with a large spoon until it gets too heavy and thick to handle. When that happens, you will need to switch to mixing it by hand. Gather the dough into a ball and then push down on it while it's in the bowl. Repeat this gathering and pushing motion, using as much pressure as you need to really work all the ingredients together. Make sure to wash your hands before putting them into the dough. To clean up after kneading the dough, scoop out a small handful of flour with a spoon or measuring cup and rub it into your hands. Never dip dough-covered hands directly into the storage container. This should absorb the moisture from the dough and cause it to separate from your skin. After you've gotten most of the dough off, wash your hands with soap and water. Number 5. Add the fish and oil mixture to the dough. Once the water and dry ingredients have mostly combined, go ahead and pour the mackerel and oil over the top of the dough. Start mixing with a spoon, and if that doesn't work, switch back to mixing it by hand. The dough will be really thick, and you may be tempted to add more water, but remember that you are making hard, dry kibble. The dough needs to be a bit rough in order to bake properly in the oven. Number 6. Roll out the dough and cut it into small 1/4 inch, 0.64 centimeters, squares. Put the dough between 2 sheets of parchment paper and use a rolling pin to roll it out, so it's about 1/4 inch, 0.64 centimeters thick. Remove the top piece of parchment paper and use a long, thin knife to cut the dough into small 1/4 inch, 0.64 centimeters squares. Avoid making the squares too big. They need to be small enough that your cat can safely eat them. Number 7. Bake the kibble for 20 to 25 minutes, flipping it every 5 to 10 minutes. Transfer your cut kibble to your prepared baking tray and put it into the oven, which should by now be preheated to 350 degrees Fahrenheit, 177 degrees Celsius. In all, it should take 20 to 25 minutes for the kibble to cook through. Try to take the kibble out every 5 to 10 minutes to toss it around so that all sides get evenly browned. Be careful when taking things in and out of the oven. Always use an oven mitt or something similar to protect your hands. Number 8. Refrigerate the kibble in an airtight container for up to 3 weeks. Once the kibble is done baking, let it cool on the tray for 10 to 15 minutes. Once it has cooled down, go ahead and transfer it to an airtight container. Keep the kibble in the fridge and give your kitty half a cup, 75 grams, twice a day, or more or less depending on its dietary needs. If your cat prefers wet food, you could always add 2 to 3 tablespoons, 30 to 44 milliliters, of chicken gravy over top of its food.
Did this video help you? Let's comment below. Yes or no.
Method 2. Making a chicken and vegetable medley. Number 1. Broil or bake 1 chicken breast, or enough to make 1 cup, 125 grams. Make sure the chicken is cooked through and measures 165 degrees Fahrenheit, 74 degrees Celsius in the center. Use a meat thermometer to double-check the temperature. You'll be adding the chicken to a blender, so you can leave the chicken breast whole, or you could cut it up into smaller pieces to make it easier to blend. If you can, use organic chicken that doesn't have any additional saline solution or hormones added to it. You can also use small game, like rabbit or hen, if you don't have chicken. Don't use the microwave to cook the chicken. The heat can cook the meat unevenly and can also kill off those essential proteins that your cat needs. Number 2. Steam a 1/4 cup 40 grams of broccoli and a 1/4 cup 37.5 grams of carrots. This you can do in the microwave if you prefer, or use a steaming basket on the stove. Steaming the vegetables is essential to softening them up enough to mix in with the chicken. Otherwise, your cat might pick around the vegetables to just get at the meat. Broccoli and carrots provide your cat with vitamin A, vitamin C, potassium, fiber, calcium, and beta-carotenes. They're great for the heart, colon, bones, and eyes. Don't season the vegetables with salt or pepper. If you want to, you could add 1 tablespoon, 15 milliliters, of fish oil to add some extra flavor and to provide your cat with healthy omega-6 fatty acids. Number 3. Blend the vegetables and chicken together in a food processor. You can use a grinder, a blender, or a food processor for this step, just as long as the meat and vegetables fully break down and combine together. You can blend the food while it's hot or wait until it's cooled down. Chicken is a great source of protein, which is essential to your cat's health. It helps their muscles stay strong and gives them the energy they need to function on a day-to-day basis. Always use a clean food processor or other apparatus to make your cat's food to avoid contamination. Number 4. Add in chicken broth as needed to give the food a smooth consistency. At most, you shouldn't need more than 3 to 4 tablespoons, 44 to 59 milliliters, of chicken broth because there should be some moisture coming from the vegetables. Add enough so that the food is smooth, but not so much that it turns into a liquid. You could substitute the chicken broth for chicken gravy to give the food a more robust flavor. Number 5. Feed your cat after the food has cooled down completely. Avoid giving your cat hot food, as this could upset its stomach. Most cats eat about 300 calories per day, so your cat can most likely eat the entire batch of chicken and vegetables and still not exceed its calorie allotment for the day. But check with your vet to make sure you're not under or overfeeding your feline friend. You can feed your cat this type of food on a daily basis, but try interspersing it with other recipes or dry food several times a week to provide some variety in your cat's diet. Store leftover food in the fridge for up to 3 days in an airtight container. If food is left out at room temperature for more than 2 to 3 hours, get rid of it. Tips. 1. When working with raw ingredients like chicken, use the same safety precautions that you would if you were making the food for yourself. 2. Most cats need 30 calories for each pound they carry. A cup of dry food, 150 grams, has about 300 calories, and about 6 ounces, 170 g, of wet food equals 300 calories. Warnings. 1. Avoid using sausages or other prepared meats that might have preservatives or extremely high sodium levels, as these could be harmful to your cat. 2. Never feed your cat tomatoes, grapes, raw eggs, onions, garlic, cheese, or chocolate. 3. Remove all bones from your cat's food. Otherwise, they could splinter and hurt your cat's mouth, throat, or stomach. 4. Always throw away uneaten wet food after 2 to 3 hours to prevent any harmful bacteria from growing.